Well, bud,
How are you?
what a good week.
That was a very good week.
Cheers.
Cheers. COVID safety, obviously.
Absolutely. It's like the elbow of the cup.
There you go.
Woo.
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool
Little jingle, yeah. I think
started off with.
it's the same one we used last week.
I feel like we should be reading the 6 o'clock news now. There you go.
On other news.
Speaking of, yes. There you are.
So welcome to episode 2 of the Chocolate or Poo podcast. Voila.
Don't forget to flush.
Yeah, don't forget to flush. That's our tagline. But so this is episode 2, our second week of doing it, and I suppose just a recap from last week. Last week was pretty good.
Last week was pretty good. I just want to point out as well, my esteemed colleague has upgraded our sound system. Last time it was very echoey. Last time, this is a very echoey space somewhere in the northern hemisphere.
Yes,
or in the northern western hemisphere, is it? But yeah, this is it's really cool.
Yeah, we did a few tests there a couple of minutes ago, and it seems to be pretty good. And just because last week's recording it went fine, but when we uploaded it to YouTube, you couldn't really hear.
You couldn't really hear it. No, it wasn't as great. But look, these are teething problems.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely
fun. So Kevin, you have some ideas for our podcast.
I do.
Do you want to start off with talking about the TV shows we said we'd watch?
Yes, we will. Will we do that?
Okay, I'll let you go first. Go on. Tell me. I challenged you to watch that TV series on Netflix, Archer.
I did.
And how did you get on?
Very good. Now I only watched one episode. I watched the pilot episode. And it was really good. It was funny. It was hilarious. The opening, it opened up when he was being interrogated by a Russian KGB agent or a Russian KGB agent.
Yeah, it turns out to be one of his colleagues.
It started off. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get into this. And then he pulls out the car battery, or no, it's a golf cart battery. Yeah. And then he's just like, oh, it's a what do you call it when the line is like used loads? It's a something line. But we have ways of making you talk.
Oh yeah. The really really bad cheesy line. Ways of making you talk with Archer.
And then Archer, as they go on, Archer says, oh, to get a promotion to KGB, do you not have to suck some dick or something like that?
It's brilliant. I've loved that show for years, which is why I asked you to watch it, because now I have somebody I can quote me with every day when we're at work. And have our colleagues looking at us going, why are they saying danger zone all the time?
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
I was screaming it.
I'm moving ice cream. Just the tip.
No, I did. I actually really enjoyed it. The animation's really cool because it's kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me, remember that movie A Scanner Darkly with Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
It's like they shot it and then they overlaid the animation on them, and it kind of has that kind of quirkiness about it. But it looks like a serious animation, and then it's just not. It's just complete another
spoof,
toss.
Well, the thing is, the guy's H.G. Benjamin, or whatever his name is, who does the voice of Archer, is one of the main writers as well.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's one of the main guys. He did Bob's Burgers as well.
Yes, and Family Guy.
He was one of the characters in Family Guy as well. Yeah, and I mean they've all been linked together. So I mean he kind of got his start doing in animation from those things, and things like that. So they're really cool.
No, I'm looking forward to now getting into it because it's like 10 seasons up on Netflix. So
and there's season 11 is out on American TV or on English TV. Yeah, but it won't be on Netflix for a while. But they always get it. And it's a winner.
Excellent. No, I will definitely continue watching it now this week, I think, as we're moving forward. You were tasked with watching a show that I really enjoyed on Netflix.
Winona Earp.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was like, I feel like, did you ever see that, those TV shows about people who are really, really overweight and they have to go on this thing of challenge to lose weight, eat healthy and all that.
Yeah, like Operation Transformation.
Do you remember one with Darryl O'Brien? Remember the one where the girl would examine the poo? Darryl O'Brien had a whole skit about this, like where they bring these people on, and I remember watching the TV show during my days when I was unemployed. It was like one of those things, but it was. It's one of those things. There is a reason I'm getting. I will circle back to Winona Earp. There's a reason I have it in my head.
This is Eammon.
This is me. Yeah. Like it's one of those shows where there was an episode of it where your one had never eaten a vegetable before.
Yeah.
It was just like chips, pizza, burgers, and that was it. Like she never ate vegetables. And your man cut a Brussels sprout and gave it to her. And she tried to eat it and it was like, blah, blah, and she tried numbers of times. I had that experience with Winona Earp. I tried dozens of times. I watched 2 minutes of it and I'm like, no, I can't fucking watch it, I turn it off. I try again, I'm like, no, I can't watch
it. That bad, Jesus.
No, it's not. That was just me I'm just being cheap.
I know.
It was actually alright. I mean, it really was. It was actually alright.
You did get through it, like.
The thing was, I've really loved the TV show Van Helsing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm totally open to the whole fantasy, fighting supernatural things like that. And if it's written really well, it can be done really well. The only problem I had with it was the first 5 minutes of it, I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Yeah. Kind of just throws you into the deep end.
Yeah,
half expecting to know.
You meet the protagonist, you meet Winona Earp, and she's talking to some girl on the bus, and the bus breaks down just outside Purgatory, which is the town they're supposed to be in. And she gets off the bus to go and have a wee in the forest, as you do. And year one just tells her not to get off the bus, and when she goes off, she goes and hears this monstrous screaming and rawr, and the bus driver's like, oh, screw that, and gets back in the bus and leaves them there. And you're kind of like, the bus driver knows more about what's happening than I do.
Yeah.
He knows what that noise was and everything else, and you're kind of like, I don't get it. With Van Helsing, it started off the TV show showing you soldiers going to meet a doctor and the world ending and them becoming vampires, and then you're like, oh, so this is the girl who's going to be like the descendant of Van Helsing who's going to fight vampires. And when she wakes up from her coma, it's already been years have gone by of the vampire apocalypse, and you're kind of like, right, well, at least I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going from forward here. I know what's happened in the last 10 minutes. With that one, it
was a little hard to kind of get your teeth into straight away.
Now, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of beautiful ladies in that show.
Winona herself is.
Winona herself and her sister.
She's a British actress. Person who acts.
Acting person, yes. There you go, person who acts.
Oh yeah, she's.
The Daisy Duke shorts and the tank top and everything. Yes. I can see why it's a bit of a show. But brilliant. I'm unfortunately going to say to you, no, I'm not going to watch it.
That's alright.
Just because I haven't finished Van Helsing either, and I'm determined to get back to that. I think I'm on like season 3 or 4 of that. And
how many seasons is there in fairness?
I think about 4 or 5 as well, yeah.
Okay.
And
it's on Netflix.
It was last time I looked, but then again, I've been sidetracked with so much TV with the baby being born and everything. I just haven't got around to it. But I was kind of like, one apocalyptic monster killing show is kind of like as much as I can really go
digest.
Yes. This one again, it didn't hook me. It just didn't.
I think it's one of those ones you kind of have to slow burn into.
Yeah, and I mean, but the thing is, if a show is really well written, it'll hook you in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Breaking Bad. I mean, Breaking Bad didn't start out really exciting, but
it was the.
It was the fact that with Bryan Cranston, it was the type of camera, film lens
that they were using,
the contrast and everything else, and the pace of it, and just the dialogue and everything. It was just like after 5 minutes watching, I'm kind of like, what's going to happen next? You're just kind of like, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? Where's he going to go? And if it's the same thing with music on Spotify. When I look at my suggested music list, I play all of them I give them 10 seconds.
If he doesn't
hit me in the first 10 seconds, skip.
Boom, it's gone.
And that's it, they're gone. I picked up a lot of music there, but I get about 3 out of my suggested list every week. So
that's alright. It's not a bad way to be, in all fairness.
Yeah. But it's if you're gonna sell something, you gotta
do it right. Absolutely. When I was watching Archer, it reminded me a lot of another show that I really liked. It only lasted a season. I don't know why, because it's fucking hilarious. Jeff and Some Aliens. I don't know if you've ever
never heard of it.
Animated show. I don't even know what it was out on. I illegally watched it, in fairness, on Showbox, which is no longer available. But it's really good. It's about this chap, and he lives with 3 aliens, and they are studying him as a science experiment about human life. But he basically is a loser. He works in like a fucking takeout or something, like drive through McDonald's or some shit. And he basically uses their technology to try and better his life, to try and get back to this girl. And it
sounds so familiar. I actually do think I've seen an advertisement for it somewhere.
Oh, it is hilarious. But it only lasted a season.
Are they like an alien? There's 3 aliens, and one of them is kind of like a father figure, and he's in command or something. And the guys were trying to fit in or something to human society. Was it
sort of? They're green with little antennas on their heads, kind of nearly classic.
Maybe, I don't know.
But it was brilliant. It was just fucking like, there was crazy episodes, but it only lasted a season. The animation was really cool as well. It was really well written as well. It kind of reminded me a little, again, Archer. That's why I was like, geez, that's really like Jeff and Some Aliens. And
do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if some of the writing guys on it were probably the same.
They kind of seem to blend across different shows, don't they?
Well, that's I mean, like I said, the guy who played the character of Archer was the video store clerk in Family Guy. And then he was the main guy in Bob's Burgers, and then he was in in Archer.
Yeah, I never watched Bob's Burgers. My mum, or not my mum, my wife.
The guys off Family Guy took a piss out of it one day. The characters were in the doctor's office. The man holds up a thing and it's just like, are you ashamed of this? And then it cuts around so you can see it and it's Bob Burgers. He goes, I'm not ashamed of that. And the man goes, well, somebody should be. It's just like, they were taking the mick out of their own guy. They did that with the guy who did the voice of Chris as well. With Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. Oh, I've never really gotten into that.
Robot Chicken's brilliant. The Star Wars ones are brilliant. Yeah, I like the Star Wars ones. They got Seth MacFarlane in for the voice of Emperor Palpatine in that one.
That was pretty cool, in fairness.
But yes, that was our
project, our homework for
the last one. Yes.
For episode 2. We'll have to come to our homework at the end of this episode for episode 3.
So our distinguished host has some topics of conversation. This is a podcast, so we have some topics of conversation.
Yes, Chocolate or Poo, episode 2. I came prepared. This man just came.
I just came. Yeah.
But
that's what she said. No, she's never said
that. She just says, "Get out."
She just looks at me with disgust. Anyway, yes.
No, I just thought it'd be cool, so I kind of went online and found kind of random stories throughout the day and throughout the last little while, and wrote bits of them down. And I thought maybe we could go through them, discuss them, and some of them are funny, some of them are kind of current eventy type stuff. And I'm not a genius, and I'm not one of those people that gets like the Irish Times, the big ginormous paper, and reads it like religiously every day. I throw my eyes at the news and stuff, and form my own opinion, I suppose.
I haven't bought a newspaper in a long time. I mean, I listen to news. So like I'll switch between like even when we're driving home. I mean, I have RT1, Matt Cooper's on. Yeah. Is it Today FM? Today FM, and then there's News Talk on News Talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do listen to that in the morning and the evening times, and like I look at the headlines of the news on my phone. Now I'm not getting my news like you were saying. I'm not getting it from Facebook.
No.
I'm getting it from like the Journal.ie and the Irish Independent and everything. Will have headline stories, and I do watch the Throw Your Eye on the 6
Exactly. That's it. Just to keep up to date and stuff, So look, we'll go through a couple of them and see which ones tickle our fancy.
So what caught your fancy this week?
Well, the first one I thought was pretty funny. It's also really worrying in terms of safe and protected sex. Right. I don't know if you've seen the story, but police in Vietnam.
Abstinence only.
Huh?
Abstinence only.
Exactly. Police in Vietnam have confiscated used condoms which were cleaned then resold.
And you know what? The irony of this is didn't get to send you the picture of that. I actually have that on my phone.
So you did see it?
I did see it. Where the hell is it? I did see it. And
there's the proof.
There it is. There is the proof.
Right here. You heard it first, sort of.
You can see the condoms on it. It's not a great picture on the phone because we are trying to put a phone on the thing. But there you are. Yes, there it is. I found it, took a screenshot of it, and I was like, I have to send that to Kevin. And I never got around to it. Oh, God.
Crazy.
300,000 used condoms.
345,000 to be precise.
More accurate.
I do. I can even tell you how they did it.
Oh, God, go for it.
So what they did was they... well, the question I first had was, where did they get these used condoms? Are they going around to people's doors and just going, have you got any used condoms I could take? It brings in this whole query of how do Vietnam process their used condoms? I imagine they're just thrown in the general waste.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Do you have information as to how they got them?
No, I don't actually. Right, okay. I have information with how they cleaned them. They boiled them in water.
If this is purely just guesswork here, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they weren't. Now you know the way a lot of our plastic and rubbish waste goes to Southeast Asia for reprocessing. Are these from from North America and from Europe? Oh, God.
That's even worse, nearly.
Oh, yeah.
So they boiled them in water, then they reshaped them on a wooden phallus-shaped object, re-dried them, then repackaged them, and then sold them as perfectly usable condoms.
So son, how was your day at work? Well, I was stretching out used condoms on a wooden cock.
What do you think? Wouldn't you know?
Same shit, different shovel. Oh, God.
Yes. Oh, God. Same product, different packaging.
But how did they get them back into the foil thing to be reused?
I really don't know.
Were they just ziplocked there or something? I know you can buy individual cigarettes at a corner shop in Asia, but I mean, good God.
Condoms,
that's savage.
It kind of reminds me of those kind of vending machines I read about in Japan where you can buy used knickers.
Oh yeah, used women's pants.
Smell, seriously.
Don't act like it's weird.
That is fucking weird. I can't act any other way. It's just, I'm not acting. It's natural.
I'm gonna go to that vending machine, get myself a Snickers bar, a Coca-Cola, and she looks cute. Yeah, it's nice, you know. I mean, like, that's perfectly normal.
Absolutely.
You know? Japan, home of the world's weirdest shit since 1957.
Pretty much. That was a meme you sent me. And it even in the article, I didn't write it down, but I just remember it said that your one that was involved, there was a woman and a man. She got 15 cents per every condom, or per kilo or something of condoms that she was able to resell. Then
15 cents.
Like Jesus. That's not much now, but obviously possibly in Vietnam it might be more than, I don't know, a lot of other things.
I remember I went on holidays to Vietnam. I went to Hue City in Vietnam, which is have you ever seen any Vietnam War movies or anything?
Yeah, Platoon.
Full Metal Jacket.
Born on the 4th of July is another good one.
Born on the 4th of July. But have you ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
I've seen bits of it.
Right. Okay. Well, Full Metal Jacket was basically the Tet Offensive with the Americans fighting the North Vietnamese in the city of Hue. So I was in Hue. And
Sorry, go on.
Yes, but a very nice hotel on the Perfume River in the middle of the city, and I went to go see the old. In China they have the Forbidden City.
Yes.
They have one in Vietnam as well, because that used to be a kingdom as well, and the Emperor of Vietnam used to have a little palace, palace
away from
called the Citadel. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really nice gardens. I have loads of photographs on my Facebook page. You can check out. But so in Vietnam, anyway, about the money, I went to the bank. And I brought traveller's checks with me, European traveller's checks, and I went in with like €300, and I was going to get converted into Vietnamese dong, and I walked out with 1.2 million. I walked out with 1.2 million. So yeah, I was a millionaire for a very short period of time in my life. So there you go. But yeah, no, the currency differential.
Oh, it's massive.
But seriously, that's.
I know, that just takes the biscuit. Soggy biscuit. Do you know what that is? Did you ever hear the soggy biscuit game?
No.
Oh, maybe I don't want to explain it to you.
Cool. First you had my curiosity. Now you have no. What's that?
I think it was in a show. I can't remember.
What is that? What does that mean? That picture of Leonardo DiCaprio. You had my curiosity. Now you have my interest. Go on. You have my interest now.
I was in Big Mouth. It's also a show on Netflix.
Oh, I've watched Big Mouth, but I can't remember the soggy biscuit game.
Soggy biscuit game. You know your man, the little lad, the magician dude. I cannot remember his name. The actor who plays him is deadly. I also cannot remember his name. He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which you hate, which I love.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, I thought you hated it. I thought you didn't like your man, the news guy.
Just don't go full boil. No. I love Peralta.
Yeah,
Peralta's actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean Brooklyn Nine-Nine savage. Yeah.
But back to soggy biscuit. So your man plays a game with his brothers where they put a biscuit in between them, and then the last person to ejaculate onto the biscuit has to eat the biscuit.
Okay, yeah, no, I've never
because the jizz goes on the biscuit, soggy's the biscuit,
and into the digestive fibers. I get you. Yes. No, I've never gone that
soggy
far.
Biscuit.
I've done some pretty strange shit during my time in the FCA, but never gone full.
That's episode 4.
That's episode 4. Fucking Vietnam flashback. Yeah. No. What other stories have you got for us other than used condoms?
So that's the Vietnam story that I had. The next one is actually pretty.
You weren't there, man. You weren't there.
You don't know. The used condoms, they were everywhere. They were in holes in the ground.
Oh God!
I slipped on one and it landed on my face. I don't know. So the next one is actually it's a little bit more serious, I suppose. It is coronavirus because we are living within a pandemic at the moment.
The virus that can never be mentioned again on the internet.
Yes, the virus that shall not be named. Harry Potter reference. Coronavirus being developed, or there is a vaccine apparently being developed in China, and apparently the company have said that it's going to be ready for early release in 2021. Cool. The company is called Sinovac. It's one of China's top 4 vaccine candidates in terms of COVID. I'm not sure in terms of vaccines in general. I don't know. Yeah. But they're working on it. They've already done human trials, I think, in Turkey, in Brazil, and a couple of other countries that don't really have a great health infrastructure and system.
Where lives are cheaper.
Exactly. Yeah. But what I thought was really interesting, they didn't mention the other 3, it just mentioned 2 other of the vaccine companies looking to develop. One of them is called Sinopharm. They have 2 vaccines in development. That is a state-owned.
Everything in China is state-owned.
The third one then is not state-owned, but it has very much military affiliations to China's military, obviously. Okay. Originally, they were developing the coronavirus vaccine for Wuhan. Was it Wuhan? That's where it was released.
It was Wuhan. Very
but they're looking to see if they can get it into the EU and America and whoever else that needs it. But obviously, America and the EU have a lot more stringent laws around human testing. This is why they're testing in Turkey and in Brazil.
You know the way in America they have the CDC, the Center for Disease Control.
Yes.
Europe has the ECDC. So they like you said, they're very strict.
They're very strict. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting because weeks ago we heard about the Russian cure, apparently, that
gargling vodka,
or poisoning your political opponents. He's cured of, but he's in a coma, but he's cured. I did actually. Yeah, he went to Germany or something, didn't he?
And then he went back to Russia.
Here you go.
Glutton for punishment. Next time, just shoot. Do you know what? Putin's just going to shoot him outside the Kremlin because he did that to a journalist already. Allegedly. A journalist who was critical of Vladimir Putin was killed outside the walls of the Kremlin in Moscow on the street. And the police couldn't find who did it.
What are you, Comrade Question?
Archer Everett. But the thing is, that's pure, BS.
Oh, it completely is, yes.
The Kremlin has more surveillance cameras than central London does, and the cops couldn't find who shot your man on the street in broad daylight.
Oh,
he fell onto the bullet. Yeah. It's just
This is Russia.
This is Russia.
This is Russia, Mother Russia.
You fall on the bullet.
The other items of interest in terms of just general news were, did you see about Australia's worst stranding with all the whales, the pilot whales, over 500 poor pilot whales. Now they don't know what it is, if it's bad navigation on the entire pod system, or if they were following like a sick whale and the whale obviously just lost their bearings or something. That's fucking crazy shit. Like
there was something about whales. It wasn't in Australia, but it was the ones that happened in Europe recently, and they were saying that they think it was NATO. The North Atlantic.
Yes.
When they're doing sonar tests in the Atlantic, knocks them for 6.
Yeah.
I wonder if NATO were doing any tests, submarine and aircraft carriers.
Down around. I think it was off. I think it's where was it? Tasmania.
Well, it's in Australia.
Australia,
They might be doing it in the Pacific Ocean.
It's fucking crazy.
But that's on the other side of Australia. I mean, the Chinese and all that.
Or up above it, yeah. Tasmania is kind of like down the southeast. I think.
Oh yeah. There's just Australia, Tasmania, and then Antarctica.
Yeah.
But you'd wonder. Now the other thing as well that could be linked to it is that isn't the poles
switch
changing? Yeah, they are rotating.
Yeah,
the polar magnetic field could be throwing them off. Yeah.
But then you kind of question why hasn't it happened before? Then why have we never seen it? How often do the poles change? Like I have no clue.
Thousands of years. I'm assuming it's tens of thousands of years it happens because it's it does wobble and it does flip.
Yeah.
Because science.
Exactly.
Not that I know anything about science,
but still, it's.
I watched an episode of Star Trek or two, but you'd wonder if it was happening. Yeah.
I'll come to the COVID news. Other COVID news. I'll kind of go something a little bit more random. I picked up loads of random stories.
Well, the random one was the
there's more.
I don't think you can get any better than the reused condom, or can you?
Dutch company creates biodegradable coffins. This is actually really cool. Yeah. It's interesting, but it's quirky and it's cool.
I have one caveat to your sentence there. You sound so excited about biodegradable coffins.
Awesome.
I have one thing to say to you. Wood is biodegradable.
I know, but this I need to read and delve into the details.
I'm just being.
I know you are. I know you're being the what's the word beginning with P? I cannot think of.
Prick.
That is the word beginning with P. But it's not the word I was thinking of. But protagonist, no, that's not the word either. I don't know. It's there somewhere. So yeah, Dutch company creates a biodegradable coffin. It's called a living coffin made from a fungus called mycelium. So. It's a vegetative part of a fungus. It's helping to convert a decomposing human body into key nutrients for plants. Mycelium is a natural. I can't even read my own writing. It's a natural recycler. It turns toxins into nutrients. It's also used. It was used in Chernobyl to clean up the soil after the disaster there.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I remember reading about there's actually fungus is absorbing radiation through radiosynthesis.
Yeah, it's savage. It apparently loves materials such as oils and microplastics. So it just begs the question, because I know your wife is doing her...
Yeah, she's doing her PhD in microplastics in water, and she's been taking samples from rivers and everything around.
I'm going to do a Trump thing. If it works like that, why can't it work? Do you know?
You put mushrooms in the water, it'll be awesome.
It'll be awesome, man.
Yeah, it'll be the best. We can make, put mushrooms and things. It'll eat the plastics.
But if you expand on that even more, if you look at how burials are done now, it's graveyards. I know crematoriums or whatever you want to call them. Are they called crematoriums?
Crematoria.
Crematoria. People like to get burnt and ashes splattered or whatever. But this is kind of cool because it means that instead of having like designated places where people are buried and that's it, you don't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
People can be buried in woods. People can be buried in land.
Well,
that
is an awesome idea. The only thing I will say is they've already got something very good like that in the UK, for example. You can be buried in a wicker basket.
That a tree then
with a tree planted on top,
yes.
Or you can be put into an actual pot. You can be cremated and put it because you will be fertilized the tree. So you're dead right. We shouldn't have these creepy stone.
Reclaim the land for the nature.
Turn it into a forest.
Yeah. Yes. This is it. You're dead. You're
dead.
A
tree on you. I can be an ancient haunted oak tree that not even a crow would land on. That's awesome.
It reminds me of an episode of Star Trek, one of the first ones that showcased Worf's interaction with other Klingons, was where they came on, I think it was a Regelian freighter in the neutral zone.
Oh, yeah,
and the two Klingons on it, and they came aboard.
And when your man died,
And what will we do with the body? It's an empty shell. Do with what you want. They didn't believe that there was anything useful.
Left of them,
So it was just do what you want with it. But anyway, I digress and I move on.
No, that's actually really cool because I do like the idea of... Because graveyards are creepy.
There's a massive Glasnevin cemetery.
Depressing.
They are.
They're depressing.
They're eyesores.
And I think if you planted a tree on somebody, again, you could fit in a lot more because we do have a big population and land is not. We're not making new land unless you're the Chinese in South Pacific.
Or the Galapagos Islands.
With the islands they're making. The Chinese are making islands. They're actually building islands instead. We'll get back to it.
Yes.
But yeah, you can plant trees beside each other, and you can actually put a little metal plaque on the tree or something. And say, here lies Eammon, and he died in 220 or whatever, and that was it. There you go. Have a little, or even a little stone slab, just in front of it, and let the tree just grow, and
that is pretty cool.
You've got your oak trees, your beech trees, and whatever else, and there you go. And you can say then that they are allowed to stand for 200 years and they're cut. And if you want to use them, you can use them. But the thing is, they can be put in cities and become the lungs of the city.
Exactly.
And like I said, reclaim crappy land. Land that can't be used for agriculture could be designated as
burial land. Exactly. And then they could be like that soil. It'll be like enriched. It'll be great for growing stuff.
But you were talking about the Klingons there, and it's just an empty shell and all that kind of thing. One of the really cool things about that book I was reading about the ancient civilization. Remember I was talking about that?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, the way like in North America, the Native Americans and the Mongols in Mongolia were very similar people. So obviously there would have been a shared culture between from Siberia across into Canada and everything, because they were very similar people. And they had one of the similarities was their burials. The way the Native Americans used to bury people on a platform. Yeah. They had a sky burial. Yeah. The reason for that was that the Mongols used to do the same. They would leave you on a platform to be eaten by the carrion birds, and you would go back into the sky. And it was just kind of like, well, that's a great thing. Oh, you got the bodies torn apart by vultures. That's fantastic. Yeah. So
you're returning back.
Like I said, it's just you're the body is just an empty shell. You are being returned to the great blue.
Yeah.
So
exactly. No, it is pretty cool.
But yes, my little digression about the Chinese in the South Pacific. They are building islands. In the South Pacific, they are building man-made islands. That's to exert control over certain shipping lanes, because the shipping lanes from the Philippines, Indonesia, and into Vietnam, Thailand, and all of that area, and Korea. The Chinese are trying to control the South Pacific, the South China Sea, even more so, and exert
more pressure and more influence.
Because then they can put naval ships and submarines and mine-laying ships. And it's like who controls the Suez Canal and who controls the Panama Canal and that kind of thing. Who controls those key shipping lanes? So that's they're actually, land is something they say they're not making any more land, but
except the Chinese.
Except the Chinese.
Watch this space, literally.
Literally.
We'll lash on. This one now is interesting because you brought this up with me during the week. And I didn't even cop that I remembered it until I was writing it down. I was like, Becca Eammon mentioned this to me. New discovery in Egypt. Dozens of coffins are found in an necropolis, which is a large cemetery. Interesting that it links back in with our
segue.
It was found near the, what is it called? The Step Pyramid, which is in Saqqara, which is in the Saqqara necropolis. And they're over 2,500 years old. I think there's like 24 unopened coffins. 2020, guys.
That can't go wrong. I mean, opening 24 coffins in the middle of 2020. That seems perfectly fine.
Nothing bad could happen.
Maybe that's exactly the type of thing we need for the aliens then to go, right, we need to step in.
Yeah. This Earth show is season 2020 is
taking a
over.
weird turn here. Yeah. The bad writing, they're starting doing, zombies now. I mean, they're just going off the rails here. First
they're just repeating themselves.
First it was a pandemic, now it's fucking zombies. But yeah, that is pretty cool. But the thing is that's what's really weird about the Egyptian thing is, I swear to God, I've gone totally down the rabbit hole on
Armageddon.
On that book about ancient civilizations.
Oh, yes,
I was reading about.
yes.
And your man was saying that like the Sphinx is actually older than some of the pyramids. They think that this kind of stuff might be 2,500 years old, but that the Sphinx may be 8,000-9,000
older.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And the reason the logic they have behind it is that there is rain damage.
Yeah.
Like there's erosion from what they can only say is would deduce from is consistent heavy rainfall, which hasn't happened in Egypt in the last 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Like Egypt's climate has been very similar for the last few thousand years, and it hasn't had that type of torrential rain.
Exactly, that you could pinpoint it to being from
say,
that.
Yeah. And the other thing as well was that the Sphinx is a kind of a lion-headed thing. Yeah. And where it lines up on the horizon, 9,500 years ago, today it's over here like this, but 9,000 years ago it would have been there, which was in the constellation of Leo.
Okay, so there you go.
So it should be where it should have been, but back when 2,000 years ago, when the Egyptian, what we think is now the oldest Egyptian pyramids and all that kind of thing, they would have been in a different constellation, and they were very that's why the pyramids of Giza line up with a different.
It's Orion. Is it a?
I think it might be Orion or something like that. Yeah, I think it was Orion, because they thought that Orion, which we call Orion, they thought it was Osiris. That was the pathway to the afterlife. Yeah. So that's why those pyramids line up, but the Sphinx doesn't. He lines up with where Leo used to be, and it was about 5,000 years ago.
There you go. It's amazing. The thing is, I suppose, is because it's pre-written history. Would it be right?
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
How we've no proper.
You're talking about like that thing, if it's correct, would have been built about 11,000 BC. No.
How?
No, you're talking about 11 or 10,000 BC. So you're talking about 10,000, 8, 9,000.
That's crazy. Do you know what I'm going to say? Aliens.
Aliens. Yes.
You ever watch that show, Ancient Aliens?
The hair on him alone is just
aliens. I love that show.
That's my only thing about it.
I dressed up as him at Halloween once.
Oh my God!
Do you know what I did? I got a cheap. I went to a charity shop and got a cheap fucking blazer.
Suit.
I had longer hair at the time, and I had a bit of the beard going on. And I just went around with a plaque. I got like a whiteboard and stuck it around me, and on the front of it I just wrote aliens. And then every time someone looked at me, I just go, and there was the meme, and they were like, "Yes, you're the guy from the show with the fucking."
Oh man, that is brilliant. It's like, when you said you bought a cheap suit, I thought you were going to do an office reference and go $7. The whole ensemble cost $7. Yeah, oh my God, those Ancient Aliens.
I love that show. I used to watch it religiously when I used to work nights at this call centre in Dublin. They had Sky for us, in fairness, which is great. I just watched it. I think it was on the Discovery Channel or something.
Yeah, the History Channel.
History Channel,
yeah. The History Channel with Ancient Aliens.
What the fuck? This is history.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when you put Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. You get Donald Trump. There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I haven't thought about that. It's so long.
It's like,
thank you, brother.
They talk about these random things, and they're like, "Oh, they couldn't have built this because they didn't have the technology," and then they just go aliens, and then they move on, and then they're like, they don't actually go deeper into the, edit it all. Like it's.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I got to get you to watch that Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
With the guy, if anybody ever watches this, the Joe Rogan podcast with Graham Hancock, and if you want to watch, there's another one with Graham Hancock and Carl something or other. Is one of the geologist guys who was with Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock is a journalist and he's an author, and he wrote these books about the cataclysm of a comet, which has actually been proven to be true. Because they did find the crater from it recently under Greenland, only like in 2019, 2020.
Is this the one that split?
Yeah, and the thing was, it was like, if you look at that the map of the world at the time, if where our poo was North America, all of this part up here would have just been ice.
Yeah.
And they reckon that this comet broke into like 4 or 5 pieces. One piece landed over on the European side of the great ice cap. But the rest, the other 4 or 5 hit the North American one, and it, super melted ice, hundreds of meters of water, a few hundred meters high, moving at a couple of 100 kilometers, just
2012 shit.
I mean, the thing is, you're talking about like the day after tomorrow, just scraping the world as it went by. Because the thing is, when this happened, the temperature on the Earth was supposed to have fluctuated by like 10 degrees Celsius for hundreds of years, and when it ended, it was a nuclear winter. It actually restarted a mini ice age because the Earth was warming, and then all of a sudden, it just boom, cold again, and that was it. And I think it was because of a mini ice age, and it threw dust and dirt up. But like during that time period, 75% of
all life,
mammals and life forms and everything in North America were wiped out. There's a massive big extinction event.
And it's down to this comet.
It's down to this comet, and they think that sea levels rose.
Or meteor.
I know it was a comet. No, it was definitely a comet because meteors are smaller and little rocks and all that. But this is a big comet, and they reckon, this guy anyway reckons that there may have been the story of Atlantis might have been because the sea level rose by a couple hundred meters. That where the Azore Islands off of Africa now, between Africa and Europe, where the Azores are out in the Atlantic, that actually would have been a landmass. And it would have been quite big, and that this may have been a seafaring civilization,
quite advanced,
called Atlantis, and that they were wiped out. And that he has in his book and everything. There's really cool pictures of these characters in South American, North American, and Egypt and the Pacific, of all very similarly drawn characters with the bag, with what looks like a tote bag or a handbag kind of thing, almost like that. And they're knowledge bringers, and they were supposed to have been the ones. And they reckon that the Egyptian civilization doesn't seem to have an evolution; it just seems to start. And that these
as you said, the hieroglyphs just went boom,
just started.
There.
And your man's theory is that these guys may have been refugees from the end of that civilization, scattering themselves because they would have been seafarers.
They would have been separated.
They think these guys would have had Christopher Columbus level sea ships
at that time,
and it was lost because they got wiped out. And that they brought knowledge to other parts, to hunter-gatherers in Africa and South America and everything else, and to how to build, how to plant, crops,
cultivate the land.
Because there's lost cities in South America, and the trees all around these buried cities in the jungles. The guys were saying why would anyone build
in the middle of
the jungle, and with these trees everywhere? And some of the locals were saying that these trees are actually food. You can eat the fruit that's on these trees, and that people abandoned this place, but that these were actually man-made planted trees. They're banana
they're not
trees.
Native.
They're not native to it. They were actually people planted them as a food source to feed the city that is now abandoned. But that
you'd wonder why they were abandoned. That's another question.
This is the other thing. I mean, but the thing is, climate could have changed as well. In
maybe the ground wasn't fertile at the time.
And the thing is as well, though, they whatever knowledge these guys may have brought with them. If you went today, let's say we lost all civilization, and you sent 500 people with Western knowledge, 21st century knowledge, but with no technology, just what they had in their head, to live with, let's say, the Aboriginal native hunter-gatherers in Australia or in the Kalahari or wherever they are exist in New Guinea, the New Guinea in the Pacific off Australia, that big. The hunter-gatherer is still there, Stone Age hunter-gatherer is still there. If you went to go live with them, after 100 years, the knowledge of what we used to have may still be passed on orally, but eventually whatever advances we may have given them slightly would start to fizzle out. And that's what they think might happen with them as well. So really cool little thing. I went down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, you did. I just
and the
dangled the carrot there,
and I swear to God, the ancient alien guy as well. That's on.
That's awesome.
Watch the podcast and Joe Rogan about aliens as well. They are mental. Just like they are.
But also watch Chocolate or Poo.
Also watch Chocolate or Poo, of course.
Definitely, yes. But back to the Egyptian discovery. It was pretty awesome. It just reminded me of one of my favourite movies, which is The Mummy. Obviously, there's the original, which is back way when.
Are we talking Brendan Fraser?
Oh yeah. Yes, God, yeah. Awesome. Oh, one of my favorite. Literally, I know it's like, it's one of those kind of movies where either you love it or you hate it. I fucking love it.
I'm right there with you.
I would watch it religiously. It was on Netflix. I think it's gone off Netflix now. But I think I watched it like 10, 15 times. Seriously, I downloaded it and everything, and it was just. I just love Brendan Fraser. Big George of the jungle. Watch out for that tree.
He's Dudley Do Right.
Or Bedazzled. Was it
Oh yeah.
With that hot Liz Hurley. Yes, that was shit.
That was a shit movie, but Brendan Fraser's still very.
He's still very good in it, yeah. And he was in Scrubs. He played your one's brother, and he died. He got sick.
Yeah, he was Cox's brother-in-law. Yeah,
it was really sad actually. But he's a very good actor. He's actually involved in an animated TV show at the minute. He plays a robot or something. I actually keep meaning to watch it. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay.
Shit. Yeah,
I'll have to Google that.
Yeah, you will.
Let's just do it now. Tell me anyway about
the mummy. No, just because I just love Egypt. Another thing I love, it just brought me back to my childhood was Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's time to do. You're not a Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
No.
No, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
It's like that meme I sent you the other day. It was about Pokemon, and it was like, I'm a rapper. Hold my, thing. Charizard, Pikachu. You never remember that? You're not. Oh,
no, never. I actually, when you said that to me, I was like, the hell is this? I'm sorry. I didn't watch Pokemon when I was a child.
How do you get Pikachu onto a bus? Your Pokemon. Now
those bad jokes are the thing. There was something I remember reading about those kind of jokes. Yeah. And it was a whole guy. I wrote like 3 A4 pages on why they are the best jokes in the world, and it's just yeah. All I'm getting here is the Nut Job, Looney Tunes Back in Action, Monkey Bone, George the Jungle, and Dudley Do Right for animated. But then again, I think that might be animated movies. I'll try
TV show. Yeah, it's definitely a TV show. I'm fairly sure. I think it's like a group of superheroes or something, and he plays the voice. I'm fairly sure it is. Maybe I'm wrong. God, that doesn't happen too often. But
doesn't happen too often.
But The Mummy Returns was savage as well. Because it has The Rock in it. And I think it was his first movie role, and he got paid like $2 million for it. It was the highest.
Oh, for The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the highest paid ever. First appearance, like for someone in a movie. He was shite in it, but he spawned a spin-off movie, The Scorpion King, which was actually really good. I really enjoyed that movie. But the first two were really good. The third one was kind of a bit of a letdown because Rachel Weisz never came back.
Yeah,
they got a replacement.
I think she didn't want to be associated with it. It's a bit like that thing of
Shia LaBeouf and the Transformers, which we talked about earlier.
Everybody gets that kind. Sorry, I was a bit off camera there. Everybody gets that kind of thing. Actors have a thing where they like. The guys from Star Trek and everybody are kind of like, I don't want to be remembered for being Captain Kirk and all this kind of thing. And you're kind of like, yeah, but millions of people are watching you. You're an actor. I mean, your job is performing.
Just get on with it.
It's a gig. I mean, nobody wants to scrub toilets, but they do it in restaurants. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I was getting was Doom Patrol, the Fairy.
Doom Patrol.
Okay, so that's the one.
That's the one.
All
that
right,
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Doom Patrol. There you go.
Again, I haven't watched it, but
never watched it either. Good. But I'm aware of it in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, I love Brendan Fraser. That movie's awesome. Then they redid it again with Tom Cruise, and it was okay actually.
That was actually all right. I mean, the girl who played the mummy in that. She was in the Star Trek movie as the alien, and she was in the Kingsman. Remember the girl with the blades on her feet?
Yeah,
that was her. Yes,
Blade Runner.
She was in something else as well. She was in that movie.
Atomic Blonde.
Charlize
Theron. Charlize Theron. This is not Between Two Ferns with Jack Galifianakis. Charlize Theron. That's what he calls her now. Have you ever watched that?
Yes, I watched
it. Hilarious.
Do you know she speaks Afrikaans?
Yeah, Afrikaans. From South Africa. I took it there.
Yes, I can't do it. I can do it, but I'd have to concentrate.
The house where I live, the neighbours beside us, the owner of the house is South African. 2 years ago, we got neighbours that rented the house from him. They were South African. They moved. I'm still in contact with them. Hey, Craig. The neighbours then that moved in are also South African. Dude. So it's just... There's lots of South African people.
I remember a funny story about Shari. Say it again.
Shia LaBeouf.
No, you're one. Theron. What's her name?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. She was on the Graham Norton show, I think, and she was talking about how she speaks Afrikaans, and this is how I know. And she was saying that she was in the airport with her mum, and there was some guy being rude, so she was talking to her mother in Afrikaans, and your man wouldn't understand. There's only like 6% of people in the world
speak it, yeah.
Your man turned around and answered her in Afrikaans. Shit.
Boom.
Yes. I understand you.
I understand you. How dare you? It's like that, in Braveheart, when Mel Gibson's character, William Wallace. It was William Wallace.
Yeah, yes, it was.
The English lads were talking in Latin, and then he replies to them in Latin.
Yes,
and then they're just like, oh shit.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
So anyway, off of our Tangents.
But I do want to say though, I totally agree with you on Brendan Fraser.
He's awesome.
Brilliant in that movie, and I love the Mummies series. They were a great family friendly frolic.
Ah, they were brilliant.
The brother of your man, the English guy,
he's in love. He was in that show Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
He was, yes, he was.
He was the what do you call that place where they trained?
Wasn't Biblius? Wasn't Biblius? It was the guy. He was. The thing is, yes, the gladiatorial training
center. Yeah, he owned it.
He owned it. The actual man from Spartacus was a real guy. In history, Spartacus did train at a place, and he did kill him and everything and go on his rebellion. Yeah. But that he plays him. Yeah,
he was awesome.
Yes, sorry.
And his wife was Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh God, yeah.
Awesome. I do not remember her name.
Lucy Lawless.
Is she lesbian?
Is she lesbian? I don't know. She's Australian.
Yes, this is true. I think it was shot over there in Australia, New Zealand. Sort of.
It may have.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. But,
big fans of it though. It was very good show.
Yeah, I mean, Spartacus was brilliant.
Like 300, because the way they shot some of the fights, it was like slow down and all the blood and gore and stuff.
And all the abs.
The abs, the superimposed abs.
Yes.
You never think that Jared Butler played that character now, because he really let himself go, and he could not do an American accent. I do like him, and he was actually really good in Phantom of the Opera.
Never saw that with him in it.
He's very good in it. Yeah, he doesn't do the singing now, but he plays the Phantom with the mask and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of bad actors singing, have you seen Les Miserables with Russell Crowe?
No, is he shocking at it?
Alright, just for 100% hand up honesty, I cannot sing to save my life. If a gun to head, just do it. But that guy, he's a good actor. Russell Crowe is a good actor, but he cannot sing. Neither can the guy who played Wolverine.
What?
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman
can't totally sing.
He cannot sing. Well, then Les Miserables was a bad movie. Bad period in his singing career.
But that other film he did he was very good in it, The Greatest Showman.
Well, he may have had more experience by that stage, but Les Miserables, he wasn't that good.
No, I haven't actually seen it, so I can't really make a judgment call.
I highly recommend after the podcast you
watch that.
YouTube Russell Crowe singing Les Miserables.
I'm not doing that for my homework, but I'll just do it on the slide.
Just for shits and giggles.
Exactly.
Honestly, yeah.
Jeez, we're 46 minutes. We better get through this.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
This one we'll just breeze through really quickly, right? So there's a disgusting food museum in Sweden has opened up a pop-up installation covering disgusting forms of alcohol, which would there's one in particular that kind of popped out at me. It was the only one actually, in the actual article. So, and I wasn't arsed going to the website or whatever. It's a soup that's 55% beer. It's named End of History, and it's served inside the body of a stuffed squirrel. And there's like a little thing covered its mouth so that you pop it and then
Oh, so it's beer fermented in the stomach of the squirrel.
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's 55% though.
55% proof?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a beer, 55%. Like that'd be strong for like a whiskey or something,
That's hand sanitizer. Yeah. Good Christ, like. I mean, whiskies aren't even 55% proof. Whiskies are like 20 something.
Yeah.
Bottles of wine that are really strong are like 15%. Like, I mean, Jesus.
55%, man.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Swedes were mad.
It's in Malmo.
It's in Malmo.
I think I've cousins in Sweden. I was in Göteborg, as they call it, Gothenburg.
Yeah, Gothenburg.
And then I was down in I can't remember where we went. We went camping, like it was awesome. We saw moose and everything. Moose and hoose. But
loose about this hoose.
I never realised that Sweden is such a long country.
Oh yeah.
It is crazy long.
Yeah.
It's like longer than what did they say on the radio? It was longer than like somewhere far away from somewhere else far away. And they were like, it's as long as that.
I mean, it takes
geography.
I'm assuming it's going to take like about 6-7 hours of end-to-end driving,
to get to
north to south. Like.
It's fucking huge.
But then again, once you reach a certain part north, it's just like you've got to be in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Oh, I think
it's just like why would you go any further?
I know.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool.
When you were saying about the disgusting foods, when you said the drink and everything, I was like, oh. But until you said beer, I was like, I had a completely different thing of, you know the way it's like psychedelics?
Yes.
That when there used to be this tradition that if like people would consume certain plant psychedelics, the rich would, when they urinated, they would put pots of their urine outside their yurt or tent or hut for the poorer members of the community to come and drink their urine because it would have the psychedelic in it. And I thought that was where you were going with that, but I'm glad it was just
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
I'm glad it was beer. Yeah. I'm just glad it was beer fermented in the belly of a dead squirrel.
Of a dead squirrel, yes. The next one we thought we could talk about a lot more, but We can bring it up another time. There's a mural in Ballina of Joe Biden has been put in, and it's of his great grandfather who emigrated to the US over 160 years ago. We could talk about it around the whole thing of Americans. Oh, I'm Irish. I'm Irish. And all that stuff.
I have one question, and just one question. The man emigrated 160 years ago. Do they have a photograph of him? Because is this not just some dude off Pinterest going, he looks old? Just where do they get pictures of these people? Yes. No, the Americans love being like, I'm Irish. You never hear
the leprechauns, the leprechauns,
You never hear them talking about, I'm German.
No, never let that. Just thought that was an interesting. Michael D. Higgins' dog died. Seoda. A mural popped up for him actually in Dublin. I can't remember where, but it was pretty cool. The only reason I really brought that up is because his dog is a Bernese Mountain Dog, and I have a Bernese Mountain Dog called Bill. Hello, Bill. And he's awesome. He's like a giant fluffy dog, and he's a bear, and he's just friendly.
This the one that when I came to your house stood at the gate barking at me incessantly for like 5 minutes. And you just stood there looking. I'm like, dude, the dog. Like, can you like bring him inside? Like, come into the gate, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, take him inside. And it was just like, what the hell?
He's not vicious. He would have jumped on you.
It's a 50-kilo animal with teeth.
More than 50 kilo. He's like 65.
Yeah, there you go. He's a 65-kilo animal with teeth going roar, 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 roar. I'm like, dude, the dog.
He molts like a motherfucker.
Oh God. I used to have an Alsatian that they shed hair in the summer.
Oh, you hoover the floor at home, and it's just like Bill hair. Oh look, there's my dinner. Oh, there's a Bill hair. Oh, there's a Bill hair. Oh, there's David, my little boy,
eating the dog
hair. So, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. Last one I thought was really cool, and I thought this was awesome. Man dressed as Grim Reaper warning people about COVID-19 on a beach in South Walton in Florida. So they opened up this beach and tons of people are going, and none of them are wearing their PPE or whatever, their masks, and none of them are social distance. So this man took upon himself, wore a Grim Reaper mask in the fucking heat of Florida. Black mask, black hood, walking around the beach, telling people COVID-19, it exists, it's real. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
And he was, that's
it says it all, really.
I do love those little stories from America. Like it reminds me of the whole Charlie Hebdo. When they got massacred for drawing pictures. We won't say what kind of pictures they were doing, but for that they had, that was really an outrage and shock. And it reminds me of that Joe Rogan joke about they had a competition to do the same thing in Garland, Texas. Right, God. Advertised it on the news. Two guys showed up with guns, started shooting at the building. They were killed instantly.
Two guys
who started shooting at the competition building because they were drawing the
person.
Yeah. And the two guys showed up and they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill these guys who are defaming our God. And when they started shooting it, they were killed instantly. It's Texas, And after a while, you got to realize even you have to ask yourself.
There's like 2 laws in Texas. I can have a gun. I can shoot the gun. Something like that. I don't know.
That was a trap.
I
mean, Star Wars jokes aside, that's a trap. I mean, come on.
It's a trap.
But yeah,
it's a trap.
When you told me about him wearing Grim Reaper suit, I was like, and I thought you were going to add the caveat, and he was shot.
No, he wasn't shot.
He wasn't shot. No, okay. That's I thought he was going to be shot.
I thought it was pretty cool because he's taking it seriously. A lot of Americans aren't because of Trump.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a fair play to him for standing up and saying, you know what, this is a serious thing. It's killed over 200,000 of our people, and it's just our people. Of people, and it's just like, come on, that's just
it's
take it a bit more seriously.
The European death toll is a little bit higher than the US one. It's 200 and something.
And I know I look at it. Look, America is
but the thing is, like, Europe has something like 420 to 430 million people. America has anywhere between 330 and 350. They can't get a quite accurate
census number
because the thing about it is there was one. I remember watching The West Wing, and the guys were talking about in the late 90s, early 2000s, that TV show The West Wing. Your man was saying about the census is not accurate. And your man's like, why? He said, well, would you open your door at night time in some parts of the cities of America to a guy coming to your door?
Exactly.
Are you going to open the door? So they can't quite get
it's more of an estimate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a real guesstimate of who lives there. But yeah, they've got about 330 to 350 million people.
Yeah.
Europe has just about 60 to 70 million more, and the death toll is only about 50 plus thousand more. I mean, there's 100 million in the difference, and they are dying. Give it time, they will surpass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The thing is, it hit Europe first and then it hit America, and they're a little bit behind, but it's gonna overtake them. And it's crazy that they're not.
I know that they're not taking it more seriously. It is scary. because you see all these, and look, it's happening in Ireland as well, obviously with different places, and Donegal, actually that's the next PA was coming. Donegal was moved up to level 3 there yesterday in our 5 point type of levels. Oh, we're level 3, yes. How much did we get to level 1? It's not a competition, guys.
Surprisingly, they're blaming Northern Ireland.
They're
blaming the cross border.
I love how they say that the coronavirus sees no borders. We're finally united.
Jesus, we'll bury you together.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is a lot of things about that, like that.
In our biodegradable coffins.
In our biodegradable mushroom coffins. There you go. Yes. But there's a lot of things about that. They were saying that where they are in Donegal and Derry.
Yeah.
It's literally like crossing from
Kildare
to Dublin. So I mean, I get that.
I've
been an open border for a long time.
Yeah, I've a lot of friends up in Cavan, and it's very similar as well. Like it's across the border. Like one of my best mates, who is also like you, one of my best mates. He lives literally beside a lake, and he says, like, look, it's from here to the other side of this room, and that's Northern Ireland right there. Do you know? So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
What's funny is they were looking at if there was to be a hard border. Yeah. There are so many crossing points. It's like
it's ridiculous. You could not man it. It's impossible.
You couldn't man it. Like,
no.
You know what I mean?
You need some sort of technology to come into play.
Even in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when the height of the trouble, they couldn't man it anyway. Like it was just
and now the size of the population difference. I have a friend from Monaghan, and she was always. I think Sinn Féin came knocking on her door once for votes and stuff there a few years back. And they were like, "Do you not want the United Ireland?" She goes, "Yeah, do you know what? Look, it would be brilliant for the island of Ireland not to be split the way it is." But at the minute, the Republic of Ireland could not afford to support Northern Ireland.
The UK can't
even support it. You know, like it's fucking ridiculous.
The thing about it is it's not only. The thing about it is this: it couldn't be the Republic of Ireland anymore.
No,
because you're talking about an ethnic population that doesn't see itself as being Irish, right?
Yeah.
So if it is to be a republic, which is meant to be the people thing, which is meant to be for everybody, it would have to fundamentally change, to include the unionist population. They don't want it at the minute to be with us.
They're never going to want to put.
There's that political side of it. The economic side of it is that place has so much unemployment. The NHS bill for Northern Ireland is ridiculous. I mean, they have universal healthcare, more so universal healthcare
than we do. Yeah,
we have universal healthcare, but it's a 2-tiered system. It's not quite universal.
No, not there yet anyway.
But I mean, not there yet. No.
Yeah. What's it called? Slanch care is the thing that they're trying to bring in, but that's a mess.
There was a guy on the radio talking about Slanch care. He said it's been in operation for 3 years, or for 2 years, and it's 3 years behind schedule already. So yeah. That was
the housing crisis is also behind schedule, but that's another topic of conversation.
Northern Ireland has so many different things.
Facets to it that we just would not be able to.
You talk about like recession, it would be a depression.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already been a money pit, like that Tom Hanks movie, The Money Pit, to the UK for 100 years.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
they can have it for another 100 years. To be honest,
Do you know what? I think eventually what will happen is it'll become like Australia. It'll become autonomous. It won't join the Republic. It won't stay part of the UK. I think it'll become a autonomous, independent state.
Yeah,
of itself.
I think so.
Because the thing about it is this: there will never be a consensus between the two groups as to one to live under Dublin or one to live under London. It'll be fine. We'll just do it ourselves and just
let you sort out. Do you know what we need to do then? Drill them off the island. That's what I say. Let them float up near Scotland or something.
A moat. Yeah. we'll sacrifice 6% of the 6 meters of the Republic and just flood it all over.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
Like Trump, we'll fill it with crocodile. Have a moat.
Build a wall. Get him to build a wall. Get built down in fucking Clare.
And then a bridge to Scotland.
Yeah. The last piece around the COVID thing with Ireland was that Roscommon, I saw that there was a pub owner in Roscommon, he was unaware that he had to self-isolate while waiting on a test. So what happened was, the pubs are obviously wet pubs. Oh, we're so wet. Yeah, I know, we'll get to that. But he basically was waiting on a test result, came into his pub. It was an 18th birthday party going on. There was between 50 to 60 people in the pub, which I don't know if was allowed anyway. I actually don't know the strict.
No, you're not meant to have that. Yeah.
And basically he tested positive. So now all of those people will have to be tested. The pub is shut down, he was like, I didn't know I had to do that.
Oh God, I'm laughing because people are going to die.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, it's terrible, but
it's shocking. I mean, people are literally going to die.
How could you not know that you have to wait until Like it's like a certain pub that we talked about before in the Thai, where I live and where you're from, is that there was a woman that came into the pub and she had and they had to shut down because about 5 or 6 of the staff got fucking COVID. Yeah, you know, it's ridiculous.
Dude, like, I mean, it's
like
was I not supposed to do that? Like, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it is just like. If this person is a business owner, so he's reopened, so he had to have all of these things in place. Yeah. Now look, he could be out in the middle of nowhere. It's fucking Roscommon. That's basically in the middle of nowhere anyway. So he had to have all these things in place like we do in work.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm laughing uncontrollably. It's like laughing at a funeral. I can't help it now. No. I know it's horrible. People are going to die.
It's just ridiculous. Like, for fuck's sake. And we said we weren't going to curse that much, but
fuck it.
And then I read as well, like, people were saying, "Oh, it's not the blame game," but it fucking is. This lad is an idiot. An idiot.
I like that Star Trek meme you sent me of let's not I'm not saying we should kill all the stupid people, just take the warning labels off and let it fucking sort itself out.
Natural selection
at its best. Darwinian fucking selection.
Yes, eat the berries.
Oh god, yes. It reminds me of that yes. And with that, we are 59 minutes and 37 seconds
episode 2.
And you seem very keen to end at 60. So yeah,
I just like to keep it. When I tried to upload this mofo last week, it took like about an hour.
You have really bad Wi-Fi.
I do. Thank you, Virgin.
Oh, you're a big Virgin.
No, I'm with some other crowd, but I think they ping off Virgin or some shit. Or something.
And in fairness, I'm with Air. The place where I'm renting. Obviously, the landlord wouldn't let me tear up the front of the driveway.
Ex-girlfriend.
Shut up. wouldn't let me tear up the driveway to put in the fibre. I was thinking about putting fibre. And they were like, you know, the landlord was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, but they'll repave it. She's like, no, you can't do that. I was like, okay, fine, fuck it. I finished with Air, ended my contract with them, and was about a week without internet. And I was like, well, fine, I'll go with Sky. Sky were cheaper. They were like 40 quid for...
It's actually a pretty good deal with Sky, in fairness.
The thing about it is this, Sky were like, we can't connect copper internet. We can only put in the fibre. We're not allowed to put in copper anymore because of the broadband plan.
Okay, the national broadband.
You can only put in the fibre, which meant digging up that or else getting a pole and attaching it to that. There's no poles at my place.
Fuck.
So it was either do with that. So guess who I had to go back to? Air.
Or Air, sorry, yes.
Yes, because they're the ones who still have the copper wire. You can't get it reinstalled into a new house. If you move into a house with no internet, you have to get fibre.
Yeah, that's
it. You can't get anything else, right? Or else you pay for a dongle, which is so if you're in the renting market, it's got to be ridiculous.
It's going to be very ridiculous.
So I had to stick with the copper wire, and with the copper wire, I can have my television. My PlayStation, my wife's laptop, like we're using now. Both our phones, our tablet. But I can't use my streaming box. Yeah. It won't connect to it. Her phone will connect to it, but it won't connect to all
the devices too much. Yeah.
It just won't connect to it in general. Which is why I think our Air deliberately trying to get rid of those streaming boxes.
Oh, the streaming, right.
Stopping people from streaming using those Android streaming boxes.
Which I also have, which I bought at the place that you told me to get it. And it works really well. We use it to watch The Office. I download Amazon Prime.
I use it off my wife's Wi-Fi because the thing is we top up her phone with like 30 quid a month and you get unlimited data. And she can hotspots to it.
Exactly.
She doesn't use the internet because she uses the internet from the house on her phone for the internet anyway. So she has tons of data every month and she's just like, let's just watch the latest movies. Off Netflix because we're not doing anything illegal.
No, not at all. Those boxes, they were bought.
That box I use for YouTube.
Only.
Because, no confession, no admittance of a criminal offence.
Absolutely not. Of course not. Right, for next week.
Yes.
Episode 3.
What's
our homework? What's our homework?
Our homework, okay.
Are we doing shows again, or we
can do TV shows, or we can challenge ourselves to do something
movie.
Else. We could do a movie.
That would be tough now because obviously I struggled with watching a 22-minute episode of Archer.
Well,
we watched it last night.
The thing is, we do have like 5 days, and you do have Netflix.
I do.
There is really good movies on Netflix.
There is.
You can watch it.
I'm trying to think now.
You could watch them on your friend's Amazon account rather than on those Android boxes, which illegal to stream or download things without paying for them.
Exactly.
So I mean, you can pick any movie.
Any movie
that you've watched in the past or liked, and you've thought this was an outstanding movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Give me something. I'll try and think of something as well.
So it doesn't have to be on Netflix.
Doesn't have to be on Netflix. Any movie that you thought this was a good movie, pivotal movie.
Give me a second.
I'll try and think of one for myself. Have you ever seen Aliens? The second movie, Aliens 2, with Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Okay, shit. All right.
It's good.
I was going to recommend that one that we watched. Problem is, me and you have probably watched a lot of
the same films. Yeah. I will find you a good movie though. I thought this was awesome.
Yes.
If I can find it. Yes. Predestination. It has one of my favorite actors in it. It's awesome. Ethan Hawke.
Show us the cover of it so I can. Predestination.
Ethan Hawke is in it.
Right. Okay. What year is it from?
2015.
Okay. Right. I should be able to find
it's really good.
Yeah.
It's class. Yeah. So there's your homework for the week.
That's all my homework.
I'm going to write this down.
I can't think of a movie at the minute, but I will recommend you watch on Netflix an episode. It's like a movie. HBO's Rome.
Perfect.
And you can even watch it on a legitimate.
Which I have because I have a smart telly.
A legitimate streaming site.
Kevin. Rome. When in Rome. Watch an ep. What about this whole idea that I did with the news thing? We could
fantastic. Yes.
Any stories?
I will try and find something. I promise. I'm not going to be the bad student anymore and just show up and riff.
It works.
I'm not going to Donald Trump this and just talk shit the whole way through. Oh, I'm actually just a last little bit for Donald Trump. I'm looking forward to that new TV show with
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV.
I heard,
which I have a friend who also has, so I can use that.
You can watch that too. I heard a snippet of it on the radio. They were doing a review of it, and it was just I want loyalty. He sounds. Brendan Gleeson is a brilliant actor. Sounds amazing. Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Excellent. Perfect. So we'll do the whole news thing. I was thinking maybe we could do. I looked that we could do a chocolate or poo thing. So we could come up with like facts about weird things. And,
I will look up the deepest, darkest episodes.
Which is true or false? Which would be is it chocolate is true and poo is false?
Oh,
do you know that sort of way?
Yeah. We can do chocolate as true and poo is false. And we have to get. Oh, you're talking about like that thing off. It's not Whose Line Is It Anyway. What's the one with David Mitchell on?
Yes, it is the one though. Yes, the paddles they have. Yes.
Yeah, you tell the story and you have to tell if your man's lying or not.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So we do it around or either stories or facts or something.
Weird little facts.
Weird little facts and stuff. Okay, cool. So that is going to be episode 3. We didn't do a whole lot of talking about Star Trek today, which is okay. We referenced it a couple of times.
Yes.
But that's okay as well.
We'll try and squeeze a bit more Star Trek into the next.
We will. We promise. Of the 8 views that we have currently on episode 1 of YouTube, I think it's pretty much.
I think 4 of them are mine.
And 4 of them are mine. And 2 subscribers to the Chocolate or Poo podcast channel, which is you.
With the entire one of them is my video gaming channel, and the other one is my own individual podcast, which I have not done yet. I have 1 episode on it, and it's me talking about Star Wars book.
Yeah.
No,
Star Trek book.
The other 2 were the other 2 book reviews I did were and they're shit book reviews were on my video gaming channel, and it was Star Wars books and Star Trek books as well. Yeah, so there you go.
So that's us, guys. Will we leave it there, sir?
I think we should leave it.
Happy days. So I've been Kevin, and this has been
Chocolate or Poo, and I'm Eammon, and
don't forget to flush.
That's it. Play us out there, Sam.
Not that one.